Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so good to have you with us as always. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate, we all lead busy lives and we do so many shows, so many episodes. We've done well over 710, 715 and counting episode this series. And I know, the fact that we all have busy lives, the fact that you're here right now choosing to be with us while the show is live, or you're watching this later on in the archives, we thank you very, very much. We appreciate every single viewer, every single person that tells us how much they enjoy the show. Maybe you've been with us since day one when we launched the Jim Masters Show Live series back in April of 2020. Or you're joining us for the very first time. Thanks so much. It means the world to us. We put a lot of hard work and effort and time into this amazing series where we have lots of our light love, levity, and our famous JMS Levity. We've got our Levity Squad who watches literally from all around the world. They comment on our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook pages, our Facebook group. They comment on YouTube, and we love all of them as well. If you are joining us for the very first time, thanks so much. If you're one of our regular viewers, thank you for being here as well. It's a beautiful day here. We, at the time of this show, again, we do our shows generally live. So I always mention sometimes temperature and weather. We're here in the New York area. If you ever wonder where we come from, we're here in the United States, the New York area, along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. And we have been really blessed with some absolutely incredible weather of late. Right now, it's 81 degrees, mostly sunny, really no humidity, and a light coastal breeze off the coast here. We are grateful and blessed. And I think today is National Peace and Love Day, too. So happy National or International Peace and Love Day. And that works so well for the fact that we talk a lot about levity here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Hey, I want to let you know as well that if this is your first time here, we invite and welcome you, or if you haven't done it yet and you're one of our regular viewers, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now. That's the channel that houses over 700 episodes of our series. Click that red subscribe button. There's no cost for that. It's easy breezy and lets us know you're enjoying what we're doing here. And also make sure you click the notification bell so you never miss any of our amazing episodes. So really cool to have you here. And we thank you so very much. We know a lot of people watch, some comment during the show, some quietly watch as well. Now, if you'd like to comment while the show is live, that's exclusive for our viewers who want to comment in our exclusive JMS Live chat room. If you just want to comment on our YouTube channel, we invite you to do that anytime you want. We appreciate that as well. You're taking the time to do that. But if you would like to comment in our actual JMS Live chat room, feel free to do that. We love when you do that as well. And when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can do that. Hey, guess what? I want to show you who our guest is. He's an amazing session musician, a touring guitarist extraordinaire. He's worked with some of the greats. He is one of the greats. And actually, he's been referred to us. Remember, Ed Rossetti was on our show, the incredible drummer extraordinaire and producer and arranger. He was with us just a few nights ago. He recommended Kenny, and we thank him very, very much. Kenny Echizen is extraordinary. You're going to hear lots of great music on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. He is in his studio with all the guitars around him as well. We've got him for a bit here on the show. This is a special time that he's with us for those watching live, because he has to pick up his child from school. So we wanted to accommodate him because we really wanted to have him come on the show. So we moved our show time around a little bit for those watching live so he can be with us here and with all of you today on the show. So again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, show some love our way. We always show it your way with all these great episodes. And we're so honored to have Kenny joining us in just a second. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He really is incredible. He's been doing this a long time, a session touring guitarist, educator, clinician. He's based in Los Angeles, originally from Torrance, California. He studied at Musicians Institute, winning Outstanding Stylist in 2005, then becoming a faculty member right after graduating. He has performed and recorded with incredible people, too. Bebe Rexha from American Citizen, We the People, the Netflix show. Taylor Dayne, of course, everybody knows Taylor Dayne. Also, You Kiss, and The One, and The Riggs, Eddie Kramer. These are just some of the folks. Jennifer Holliday as well, Billy Porter, Lillias White, David Newman, Jack and Jack, and many, many others. He's also appeared on Glee. You know, Glee, season 5, episode 10. My buddy, Damian McGinty from Celtic Thunder, who's been on our show many times. He was on Glee as well. You may remember Damian was on. So Kenny was on Glee, season 5, episode 10, with Adam Lambert and Leah Michele. Also, his film and television commercial recordings include Blaze and the Monster Machines, Bubble Guppies, Baby Shark, DuckTales, Planes, Fire and Rescue, Domino's Pizza, The Voice, for those of you who love the soap operas, One Life to Live, also Pepsi, Disney, and so much more. And as a clinician, Kenny was with Taylor Guitars as a product specialist, traveling all over North America for about 7 years, and also a product specialist for Xotic Guitars and Effects for 4 years as well. Again, he's a master craftsman at what he does. He's now a product training specialist for Korg USA's guitar department, and still actively keeps a busy schedule doing tours and recording sessions as well. Again, we've got lots of good music coming your way, folks. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something real quick here to kick our show off with some great music. This is called St. James. This will show you Kenny's incredible guitar prowess and his true talent. And then we'll have him on the show for a great conversation in just a second. Welcome, everybody. Here's Kenny doing his thing. What an intro, huh? What an intro. And there he is, Kenny Echizen, the master craftsman on the guitar and so much more. Hey, Kenny, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here, my friend.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me. It's an honor. Well, you were mentioning what the weather was like up in there. So I'll tell you, 75 degrees and sunny.
Oh,
as
nice.
Always.
Wow, that is really, really nice, because there was some hot weather that came through LA, wasn't there? Like a couple of weeks ago?
For a split, I mean, hot isn't,
yeah,
it's subjective, but it's always nice out here.
It's so good to have you here. Tell us about what we just saw. That was so cool, and that was such a great way to kick off our show.
Thanks. Yeah, that was it's a video I made for a company, amp company called Black Star Amplification. They are based in UK, and they make incredible guitar amplifiers. And me as a product specialist for Core USA, we also distribute many other brands such as Vox Amplification, Blackstar Amplification. And part of my job is to create content and videos and write music for it. And that was one of the videos that I've made for a launch, a new product called St. James. That's the name of the amp. And yeah, we launched that amp earlier this year. And that was one of the what do you call it? The launch video, I guess.
Yeah, the actual premiere video, right?
Exactly.
So kind of like an exclusive for our viewers to be seeing that, which is awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us, my friend.
That's actually the raw footage. That's like, there's actually like B-rolls of the amp and stuff, but I actually just sent you the actual footage of me just playing on.
I think that's awesome. It's, great to see you just actually doing it raw and doing it, authentically as you did it. I mentioned a brilliant session musician. I know you're very humble about it, but you've been doing this for quite some time, and you've had a chance to tour and work with a lot of great people and work on a lot of incredible things, whether on stage, in studio, or behind the scenes. How did you first get started? When did you first pick up a guitar as the instrument that was in your heart and soul, or was there another instrument first before the guitar when you were a kid? Tell us about what inspired you to get into music, Kenny.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. It's definitely an honor, and I feel extremely grateful to be such a part of an elite group of LA musicians, so to say. Because if you throw a rock, you'll hit a musician. You'll hit a great, incredible musician, no matter what, in LA, from all over the world. So I'm definitely lucky to be part of the team, so to speak. I started off playing piano when I was 6, classical piano. Like a lot of Japanese and Asian cultures, we all start off with playing piano, and early on I was definitely one of them. And I wasn't really good at anything else in terms like sports or academic or anything like that. I was just like a real average kid more than anything. And my parents were musicians. They did love music. They loved to sing. There was always music in the house. And my mom definitely wanted me to start doing some music. So I started playing piano when I was 6. I did that for about 6 or 7 years. And I kind of got over it because I had a pretty strict teacher at the time, because I was getting progressively better and better. So as the teachers get progressively better and progressively harder on us, I was just like, man, I'm not that serious about this. So and so I kind of got, shy away from the piano a little bit. And then when I was in 8th grade, when I was 13, I wanted to do something different. So I just decided to join the band out of the whim, without knowing that if I didn't know other instruments, they would have just put me on beginning band. But I was in 8th grade, which meaning I would have graduated the following year.
And that's in California, right? You grew up in California?
Yeah, born and bred in California, Torrance, California, to be exact, in the South Bay area.
Great area.
And so I was just surrounded by just like 6th graders, and I didn't, as a kid, just hitting, the growth birth, so to speak. It was like, I don't want to be, hanging out with a bunch of 6th graders, or whatever. So I was kind of talking to the band teacher, who happened to be a guitar player, said, well, I'm starting a guitar club, second period. And there's actually some 8th graders there. And I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I'll go. I'll join. So it was just like a sheer accident for me to start playing guitar, actually.
Is that how you learned? Is that how you were trained?
I've been very lucky to start, playing guitar every day by a teacher, learning from, an actual player. So I was told to get a guitar. So we went to Guitar Center. We looked around. We didn't even know where a Guitar Center was in our neighborhood. I didn't even know such thing existed. We went to the mall at first with my mom, and my mom's like, "There's no guitar at the mall." So we looked around, and one of the guys was like, "There's a Guitar Center, on near the mall." So I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know there's such a thing." So we went over there, and my mom actually played a little bit of guitar. So she picked. I never seen her like that, but she picked up the guitar, started tuning it up. Wow. And it's like, what did she do? And then she started playing some chords, and she was playing some scales. And to me, she looked like a rock star to me. Yeah. And I was just like, what's going on? So I said, teach me everything you know. And she taught me everything she knew that night, and I learned it. And the next day I walk into the school in the class, and I started playing the stuff that my mom taught me, and everybody was like, who's this guy? I never had this much attention from anybody in school. So
what did she teach you? What was it?
Just a bunch of like, open position chords and, scales and stuff that we all learned in the beginning.
Right.
But to me, I didn't know how to do that. So I started playing that in front of my teacher and my classmates, and they all just flipped. Right. So that's when the bug bit me, where, oh, this is cool. Like I could play guitar and get some
Did you
attention.
pick it up quickly too? Because
I did.
It takes a while.
I did.
You picked it up quickly.
Well, I mean, I think knowing how to play piano and having music in me early on definitely helped out. Like sense of rhythm, right. Knowing pitch and all that stuff. Everything just kind of clicked really well. And I had a really great, incredible teacher. His name is Eddie Lieberman. He lives in Colorado now, but he was an incredible part of my life in my journey. And I also got lessons from another teacher privately. His name is Makoto Miyashita. He was a professional in Japan, and he definitely just blew my mind. Just was like, man, this is really cool. And he was the reason why I wanted to become a professional.
Right.
He was, so I really got lucky early on with meeting great teachers and mentors, and then from there on, just kind of started. We go to high school after that and meet other people from other middle school joining in. And one played bass, one played drums, and hey, do you know this song? And I didn't know rock and roll at the time, so they showed.
What were you listening to at the time? What was the music of choice for you then?
Well, the music my parents listened to, basically, like a lot of Japanese folk music from like, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, right.
A lot of those music that I grew up listening to. So I have
classical
a really
too.
Not a lot of a little bit of classical, because I did play classical piano, but I never really got into that, honestly. But yeah, I have a really weird taste. I have a really weird knowledge of music in terms of Japanese folk tunes, because I know a lot of music that my mom and dad listen to.
Right. Yeah.
So whenever I talk to like other people from Japan,
they get it right away.
Yeah, they're like, oh, why do you know this band? Or why do you know this artist? It's like, well, my parents listen to this. I have like a weird library of music. But anyways, like,
has any of that influenced you at all? That music?
Probably. I mean, I can't recall like what exactly, but of course, there's something that influenced me in some way, right? That really got me into it, and then got into rock and roll, and that really I got into. Build bands with a bunch of my friends, and I joined a band with my cousin who was 12 years older than me. So he picked me up after school, and we drove up to Hollywood and rehearsed together and did all these like illegal stuff together when I was little, when I was in high school. Sorry, mom and dad. But but it's just how we all learn how to, enjoy this rock star thing. And so from there on, I learned about like, oh, you could go to school for music, but I wasn't really good at school, so there wasn't much choice. But I found out about Musicians Institute, which is a trade school in Hollywood. So I looked into it, and it looked really cool. So I did all the research. I applied myself using my own money.
Did you really?
I did, yeah, because my parents was not opposed to it. So
were you working like odd jobs or whatever to sort of save up that money to do it?
My mom was working at the supermarket department store. So there was like this summer time where I made some money doing, everything. I also washed dishes. I waited tables over the summer after I graduated high school.
Whatever you could do to make the money. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. To save up some money, because my parents was like, I was able to get in and I got accepted. So, my parents was like, all right, so I'll give you, we'll give you a year and a half. And if you seem like you're doing a good job, then, we'll support you. So I devoted all the focus and all that stuff that I didn't do and apply in high school and middle school and all that stuff all into MI. And I did really well there. I had great teachers and great classmates and friends for life that we pushed each other and led me to where I was in the beginning after I graduated. It was not easy at all after I graduated, because once you get into the real world, your dreams get crushed immediately.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For anybody out there who's, not, it doesn't have to be music, but actors or just anything in terms of art. You go out there and you do your studies and all that stuff. And now you go out to the real world and you do your auditions and you do all this stuff. There's never it's a rare occasion to have that Cinderella story, somebody. So I was definitely not the guy that got that Cinderella story. I got my dreams crushed multiple times over the course of the first few years.
What were the dreams? That it would be sort of like an overnight success situation? Big
Doing an audition for
touring
whoever.
with the Stones. Or...
Yeah, exactly. I auditioned for different pop stars and never got the audition. I never got the callbacks I got called to do a gig and I got fired, and that was my first time getting fired and my soul was crushed. I cried. And I was 19 at the time. And I just like, like they fired me and blah, blah, blah. So I just ran around and applied for jobs, but never really sent the application. And it was like one of those moments where where I had to pick myself up and do it again and
dust yourself off and say,
dust myself. Exactly.
Going.
Yeah.
Right.
And then start networking more and meeting people and practice and just, advance. And just everybody has their own story, and every musician, everybody that's doing this for a living could write a book about how they came up. So, there's a lot of things I've done over the course of a year that really helped me develop who I am now and still am. I'm still learning every day.
Was there a pivotal moment that was a key door opening moment for you, an opportunity that came your way that when you look back at that and say, boy, if that didn't happen, some of this other stuff that, it led to wouldn't have happened. Just somebody gave you an opportunity or you were part of a project or you brought in, and then people really started to notice how talented Kenny is and say, oh, we got to bring this guy in more often. We got to spread the word about him. Was there anything early on that was pivotal for you then?
Kinda. Well, maybe there are things that I didn't even notice or I didn't even realize those were the moments. So I can't really recall those moments, obviously. But one gig in particular that really was like a game changer moment was right after I graduated. A few years later, I met a guitar player named John DePatty, who was a long resident of LA music scene, who was an incredible human being and also an incredible player. I met him through a mutual friend, and he started throwing me substitute gigs that he couldn't do. And I met some people there, and I did a fairly good job. So I guess the word went over to John saying that I've been doing great. So he threw me another bone because he was referred to a gig to do a cruise ship contract for 4 months, doing ballroom music and all that stuff. And at the time, I didn't know, I've never traveled with the guitar or for music ever. So I was 22 at the time, and I didn't know. I was like, why would I say no? So I took the opportunity and went all over South America. I went to Antarctica for 3 days. I went to Mexico, Alaska, Vancouver. It was a lot of traveling and a lot of learning experience. Not Musically, not so much, honestly, because I just played the same thing over and over again for 120 days, literally 120 days every day. Yeah, but more than anything, just learning about people. And I was just like this, you know, this naive kid at the time. And when I finished my contract, I was a completely different man, basically. One of my teachers at MI said, Kenny left as a boy and came back as a man. That was definitely that's definitely true, because I learned a lot. I mean, I learned how to drink at the boat. Probably the worst way to learn how to drink is being on the boat, but I did do that.
On a boat, really? That
Yeah, I
is
mean,
one of the toughest.
on a cruise ship. Yeah.
If you can withstand that, you can withstand anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't even finish half a bottle of beer when I started, but I can't tell you how much whiskey I could finish at the end of the contract. It was definitely a crazy scene. So
You
when
almost
I
became Irish after all that.
yeah, definitely. For a brief moment, I definitely had an Irish accent at some point. But yeah, from there on, like I learned, I had this confidence that I didn't have at the time. And having that confidence as a musician, it's not the confidence of just like big headed, oh, I'm a big deal confidence, but just like a confidence of how you present yourself definitely helped me exceed who I am. Because I was already, good
And
player,
were people
but
saying that? Were they noticing, saying this guy's?
Oh yeah, people
good.
Definitely noticed like who are you kind of a thing. So,
and what was some of the work you were doing at the time?
Not a lot, honestly. I was teaching at MI. That was still going on, which was great. But other than that, I was doing
session work.
Very little.
Yeah,
very little sessions. I did some TV stuff.
Yeah,
but very little, and it was like very low budget.
Yeah.
But a lot of house calls, teaching at a music store, which it kind of took my soul out a little bit. I'm not I'm not really good at teaching beginners. I'm really good at teaching advanced students. And there's a skill set of being a good teacher for teaching beginners. Like that's an incredible skill that I cannot have.
Patience.
Well, that too, but I don't know. It's just like how to explain things to beginners. Like I can't.
Very basic.
Yeah, because I was one of those kids that picked it up really fast.
You're lucky.
So I understood. But for kids that can't, it's hard for me to really understand and kind of like relate to him. Or her.
Right.
So I couldn't really have that mentality. So it kind of like took my soul out. And then once this cruise ship gig came out, I just quit all the gigs that took my soul. And I kept like very few things that I wanted to do. And which one was teaching at MI.
Yeah.
And, and from there on, I just kept going. So, yeah.
How did you get into the session work? How did that all happen?
Word of mouth. All my gigs comes from word of mouth.
Really?
Not a single audition, not a single, cold calls or anything like that. It was all through word of mouth. My colleagues and my mentors, kept referring me, and I met somebody that knew somebody. So, and just kind of like one thing led to another kind of stuff. So to this day, all the phone calls that I get for sessions or gigs are all through word of mouth. And, hey, I got your number through so-and-so, just like this, how we met through Eddie.
Through Eddie.
Eddie and I go way back since 2009.
How'd you guys meet?
He was an instructor at MI as well. So I knew of him, but we never crossed paths. And funny enough, the last few weeks of my contract at the cruise ship gig, I got a call from Eddie saying that, hey, I'm doing this summer camp for kids at the NAM, initial, I forgot the acronym is, but NAM, it's like this big thing where it's a summer camp for kids in Carlsbad, and he was wondering if I could do it. So that's where I met him first. And then he dug me and I dug him. We dug each other, became really close friends over the course of the year. We've done a lot of gigs. We did a lot of those summer camps. We did a lot of sessions together, and I was a teacher's assistant for Eddie's class called Odd Meter, which is like this super, super advanced drumming class. And we really dug each other. We played together all the time, and so that's how we met.
Yeah,
Over
that's
the
cool.
So yeah,
I
love
mentioned,
Eddie.
oh, he's fantastic, and he was a great guest. If you guys missed that episode when Ed was here, or was Eddie, check it out. He gave us a whole tour of his incredible studio, all of the drums. I mean, he has instruments that I don't think people even realize were ever created. He has the ability to really describe them, and you hear this and hear the little intonation with that. He's such a great guy, and I know he's going to be watching this as well. He said he was excited you were coming on, and so the session work. Tell us about some of the cool things you have had an opportunity to play on that maybe even folks would recognize, whether it's music for others or commercials. Or
sure. One of my first big thing was playing for a film called Planes, Fire and Rescue. That was released. That went out. I don't know how long ago. That was quite a long time ago. That was definitely one, and that was a funny story because my dear friend Michael Smitty Smith was a professor at USC production team. He and I have been working together countless times. He said, "Hey, I'm doing music for a Pixar film, and there's this one scene that needs something, and can you help me with it?" And this was a phone call at like 8 a.m. I barely got out of bed. And it's like, "What time do you need me there? Like, can you come in like a couple of hours?" I'm like, "Okay." And because like the main head honchos of Pixar is going to be there too. So there's like 3 of the main guys from Pixar sitting in the couch. Here's me barely woken up, barely caffeinated. And then I didn't even know what to come up with. And it was just me playing some pieces, and we weren't sure if it was going to make it, but it did work out. So that was like a big thing, because from that, I came up with this line, and that line was good, and that glued the scene together. They hired a whole orchestra to play parts around the melody that I wrote.
Wow.
And it was like this incredible moment. I still get goosebumps just remembering that scene. So that's kind of one big thing that I did. What else? Also, I recorded guitar for a Netflix show, and it was all guitar. It starts off with the guitar, and there's a very, very guitar heavy tune, and then Bebe Rexha sang on that song. That was kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah, sure.
But as my personal success is, I've been recording a lot of music for kids' TV shows.
Oh, really? Cool.
One being Blaze and the Monster Machine, and I've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years. And
enjoying it?
Yeah, and then my son loves that show right now. So, like, I wasn't even a dad when I was recording that guitar.
Eddie's
what's up, Eddie?
here.
Hey, Eddie.
With kind words, Jim and Kenny. The groove continues. Kenny is the best. Thank you, Ed.
Man, thanks, man. But yeah. So before even I became a dad, like I was recording, guitar for a TV show that eventually a few years later my son's like obsessed with right now. So
right, exactly, huh?
That was kind of cool.
Well, I mentioned something about your involvement with Glee on Fox. Tell us about that.
Oh boy, yeah, I was sidelining for one of that episodes. We played Barracuda by Heart. So that was a lot of LA musicians were being hired to do sidelining. Sidelining is basically pretending to play a song, or pretending that you're performing, in a band situation when all the the cast are singing. So in this case, it was Adam Lambert and Lee and Michele.
Right.
And it was like a 2 or 3 day shoot. Waking up at stupid early time to get in, and
is that at the 20th Century Fox Studios?
No, it was at the Paramount Studio.
Paramount. Oh,
yeah,
Paramount is everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible experience. It was just like,
get
dressed, and just hurry up and wait. And once a lot of times there's a lot of waiting time, and then they all of a sudden like, all right, it's on. So we go in there and just start shooting. So it was kind of it was an interesting time. And I didn't really tell anybody that I did that, but when the show aired, I got a lot of like random texts from like, "Hey, were you on Glee?"
Right.
Were you on Glee?
Yeah.
Because there's somebody that looked
Looks
exactly
like
like you.
when yeah. All of a sudden it's amazing. You get a whole other sort of fan base from being on television or being on a series like
Yeah, I
for
mean
that
that
episode.
was kind of like, it's funny, like, because even before that I was making a living, I was doing that, but not a lot of people really understood that whole concept. So once I did that, everybody's like, "Oh, so you're a professional." I'm like,
You're
"Well, I was a professional before that, but thanks."
suddenly that becomes like another stamp of approval or something. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny.
yeah.
What about film work too? Scores and things of that nature.
Yeah, I recently did an HBO Max show. Did a whole, I forgot how many cues we did. 35 cues
Did you really?
within a whole day. I'm not allowed to say for
Yeah, what
what
it
the
is.
show is, but yeah, I did some HBO stuff, some Netflix stuff. I did the Green Sleeves. Um,
Oh yeah.
I did that for a hot minute.
I
What
mentioned some of
else?
the people you've worked with too: Taylor Dayne, Billy Porter, Lillias White. I mean, just
Yeah,
people.
I've been with
Tell us about them.
Taylor. I've been with Taylor for over a decade now.
Have you?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So when
she has.
she's out performing, you're there with her, or
Well,
you're in
I'm
the
her West
studio.
Coast band.
You're the West
Um,
Coast band.
she
Yeah,
has a West Coast band and an East Coast band,
East
and
Coast band.
then
Right.
so I've been her West Coast guitar player on and off for about the past 10 years.
Wow,
And
that's
yeah,
great.
she's an incredible human being, and God, what a powerhouse of a singer.
Oh yeah.
And just
Yes. Even
Long
Lillias
Island played.
White is another fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lily I did that a long time ago, but that was I did a few shows with her. Incredible powerhouse, just an iconic human being. And Billy Porter as well. I did a few shows with him.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
bundle of energy, isn't he, Billy?
oh my God, yeah,
Wow,
incredible man. And
talent. Yeah,
now he's like this huge. I see him on billboards now.
everywhere now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
incredible, right? I mean,
yeah,
that was I started playing with him when he was like up and come, like
yeah.
right about the break,
The
right before
star
he
was
broke
rising.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah, and but still, he's definitely had the charisma, and the talent was incredible. And his MD James Samplier was an amazing musician for me to really like get to know him too. So that
yeah.
was an incredible time. And yes, I mean, I could go on, and I did a 4 month, no, 4 month, what am I kidding? 2 month tour in Australia with the cast for the show called The Unbelievables. Basically, just I was the house band for a bunch of variety acts, and one of the main act was Shin Lim, who won America's Got Talent a couple times. And that was the year before he won that show. So that was a really cool time because I played at we had a 2 week residency at the Sydney Opera House, which was like a big bucket list for me to be a part of. And then I did 2 weeks in Melbourne and 2 weeks in Perth with all those casts. And that was an incredible time for me to really experience and embrace that part of the world. Australia was an incredible country, beautiful
Yeah.
place, great
Isn't it?
food, coffee
Yeah.
game is on point. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So just things
We
like
actually
that.
have somebody watching who's a big fan of our show, and he was a
Oh,
guest
cool.
on the show. It's called the Australian or the Aussie Crooner, actually. He makes his home in Nashville from Australia. He did a lot of the cruise ships, also worked with the Count Basie
Wow.
orchestra. Marty
Wow.
Thompson, he says, huge fan of certain guitarists, 10cc, Eric Stewart, Fleetwood Mac's Lindsey Buckingham, of Ryan May of Queen,
Of
Roxy
course.
Music, and Phil, RC, ACDC, Angus Young, and Tommy Manuel. Who are some of your favorites? Great question,
Basically, the
Marty.
guitar. Yeah. Everybody you mentioned, Marty, like Tommy Emmanuel was a big game changer for me. When I saw him play multiple times over the years when he was in LA, and the first time I saw Tommy, I didn't own an acoustic guitar, but For those who doesn't know who Tommy Emmanuel is, he is an Australian certified acoustic. I forget what the name, the official title, but he's basically like a certified guitarist by Chet Atkins, the great Chet Atkins.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you hear him play once, you'll cry. He's just an incredible songwriter, performer, and that definitely made me go buy an acoustic guitar immediately after I saw him, and that definitely got me into learning how to play acoustic guitar. Tommy Emmanuel's definitely one. Jimi Hendrix, of course. Who else? I mean, AC/DC, Angus Young. I grew up listening to metal, so any of those classic metal bands out there, my answer is yes to all of them. It's just, I mean, and a lot of my friends and my colleagues are my favorite guitar players. A lot of my mentors are my favorite guitar players. I do listen to a lot of guitar players, but a lot of times I do love other instrumentalists like drummers and bass players. I love hanging with them and picking their brains. Like Eddie, for example, he's one of my I'd say he's like definitely an influence of mine, inspiration of mine. Just learning the concept of rhythm and just music in general, and because music, Victor Wooten, who's an incredible legendary bass player, I'm probably going to ruin this quote, but he basically, when he says, when somebody asks you, like, what is music to you? And, you come up with other name, like love, passion, fun, or whatever. But once you pick up an instrument, all that stuff comes kind of second. And all of a sudden you come up, a lot of times people talk about technique and gear and whatever. And it should be whenever you pick up a guitar and any instrument of your choice, the initial moment of what you think of music should come first before technique or anything like that. Like love and fun and passion should come in first when you play an instrument. And that just kind of like, I kind of knew that already, but that was definitely a moment when it was like, oh yeah, of course. That's why guys like Tommy Emmanuel is an incredible musician, because he does not think about technique. He does not think about.
No, he's just
he plays with his heart, and that's why we could connect. Yeah, Tommy's known as a guitarist. Yeah, he's definitely an incredible musician.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of meeting him, interviewing him on PBS, and he was just
have you? Great,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Just regular guy. Actually, another we had as a guest, and folks can see this episode on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Leland Sklar too.
Oh wow,
yeah, he was with us recently,
Great.
And another awesome. Yeah.
Wow, one of the guys I would love to meet one of these days. Hopefully, get to work at some point, as he's another legend of Monk. Many, but yeah, Lee Sklar is definitely what a guy.
How about some of the smooth jazz artists and like Peter White or people like Tom Scott and those guys? They're amazing too.
Yeah, absolutely. I never got it really into that whole scene, but I know a lot of people who play in that. That's another scene on its own.
It really is. It really absolutely is. Now, you also did something for Disney. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah. God, what was it? I think it's like a Disney. I'm trying to remember.
So many things,
Yeah, it was. You know what? I remember now. It's for an app. It's like a game app.
Oh yeah.
So it's a Disney game that Disney Japan made.
Yeah.
And I did like all the music for that. Actually.
Have you done a lot of video game type stuff? I know that's a big.
Not a lot, not much. But
the video game music and all.
No, I still haven't done that actually. So I would love to do that eventually.
That's a big area, huh?
Oh, big time,
really
yeah.
Blown up.
That I actually did perform at Disney too many times.
Did you?
yeah. I'm like the LA
in costume or out of costume?
No, I was out of costume. I was once again subbing for a fusion quartet,
Mm.
and we were performing at California Adventures. They had every summer they have this thing called what is it? Beer and wine, or wine and food, or
Yeah.
one of these like
Yeah.
little food and little thing there. And we performed at Disneyland. We had like a residency there for like 2 months. That was a really fun experience
That's cool,
to
huh?
really see the behind the scene, so to speak, of Disney.
Yes, right, exactly. And Pepsi too. Speaking of drink,
That was
Pepsi.
also a commercial thing that I did,
Yeah.
recording. It was a session for recording. That was a long time ago too. That was, gosh, a long time ago, over a decade. But
Do you like session work? Like you say, you've
oh,
had the band opportunities where you're actually there in the band. I mean, 10 years plus with Taylor Dayne as the West Coast, part of the West Coast band. Do you have a preference? Do you enjoy being on stage, performing, doing it, or do you love the studio work, the session musician
great
work?
question.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
a preference?
I live for sessions. I wanted to be a session guitar player when I first came up, when I decided to start, when I decided to be really serious about this, when I was right out of high school. Wanted to be a recording studio guitar player, but never knowing that occupation was a dying art, unfortunately, because of Pro Tools and home studios and all that stuff. So
Yeah, that and
back when,
jingle singers.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Back when guys like Steve Lukather and Leland Sklar were doing, were just owning
pumping
the
out
hopping the LA scene back in the 70s,
place
80s.
to
Even,
place.
Eddie has a lot of great stories about it, guys, and from Toto, doing all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
I wanted to do, but the recording scene hasn't been that glamorous as, at least the stuff that I do. There's other people still to this day, guys like Tim Pierce, Michael Landau, Dean Parks. The list goes on. Michael Thompson, Paul Jackson Jr. All those guys are doing, the top A sessions. But I'm doing, fairly good amount. But I love going to real studios and great consoles and seeing that and creating sounds and just, I become an artist when I'm in the studio creating sounds for them. I don't really write my own stuff too seriously. I do write, but I don't do it really seriously. So I feel like that's the time when I'm becoming an artist, is because I get to really be super creative.
yeah.
So I love the session scene. I love recording. I love creating and coming up with parts. On stage is a little different, because you're supposed to play where you're supposed to play, especially for gigs like Taylor Dayne, or I play for this Persian group called Kamran Hooman, who is like this. I mean, if you're not Persian, you don't know who they would be, but they're a really big star in that market, and I've been playing with them for, again, almost 10 years. And those gigs, I'm supposed to play the exact parts every single time. So those gigs are fun. I get to experience the travel and meet people and all that stuff. And of course, being on a big stage is, always fun, and jump around and do your thing. Another scene is, playing at places like the Baked Potato, and being able to improvise and playing with a bunch of incredible musicians. That's another. I love doing that too. I love just
Somebody was
improvising.
asking that. Toby was asking. She's watching from California. Ask who he plays with at the Baked Potato. Tell him I know Don and Justin quite well, the owners.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I don't know. I've never met Don or Randy. I've seen Don, but I know Justin. Justin. I used to go to Baked Potato when I was 19. Barely, just got out of MI, and I wanted to go there. And I was just I was sitting in the corner of the bar. That's where the sound is the best in that room, actually. And Justin was bartending, and he always see me there. And I used to go there like every other week, or almost every week, consecutively. And so when it was time for me to play there, Justin's like, "Oh, so it's your turn to play on stage now," because he's known me when I was a kid,
Yeah.
basically. And he was like very supportive and super, super happy for me. And there's like this community of places. And that's another like elite group of players. So to answer the question, my first time playing there was with this artist named Janathan Cannon, who's now living in Nashville, I believe. And that was a bunch of my friends playing there. And from there on, and I played with, who did I play with? Joe Bonamassa. He sat in when I was playing with a group called Groove Legacy, who's like just an elite group of session musicians. Guy named Travis Carlton, who's Larry Carlton's son. Lamar Carter, who plays for everybody.
Whenever Joe Bonamassa is on PBS with his specials, the phones are off the hook.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So Joe sat in on the first set, and he just killed it. Incredible musician and guitar player. So that was one thing. And I did play with the Groove Legacies a few times. Gary Novak on drums. That was incredible. And also Benny Rietveld, who I played with a few times. Benny's became a really close friend now. He is the current musical director for Carl Santana, and he was one of the last bass players for Miles Davis. So he's a legendary bass player. We had a mutual friend, a guy named Davey Namine. I'm just saying these names just to say thanks. I'm not intending to drop names. I'm saying this because I'm just showing gratitude to the people who threw my name to these people. So
which is, it's so great that you do that, because that's one thing a lot of the musicians have been saying, even the ones I know personally, or those who've come on this show, and even people I've interviewed on television professionally. There's this like community where everybody does like to do that. They'll support one another and sort of lift one another up. And I think that's a really cool thing about musicians oftentimes.
Yeah, it's a really messed up, weird family,
tough career to choose. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And if you have a reputation of just talking crap about people, you're not going to survive this world. There's no way.
No, right. Exactly.
So like all the successful musicians that I know, and maybe, everybody that I know, like all the common part is you have to be genuinely a good person. You may have different beliefs in certain things, but deep down inside, you have to have that good human element. You can't be a people. You got to be a human. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
There's a lot of bad people out there, but there's very few good humans out there, and we all have to strive to be one of those guys and girls.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
What we have to really do is we got to get funky, and we actually have a video of getting funky. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So you can't see the guitar, but this guitar here, I played this. This was owned by this guitar player named Ross Bolton. He played for Al Jarreau for numbers of years, and he was writing music for the Dr. Phil show. He was definitely one of my biggest influences. He made a huge impact in my life. I still owe him my life to him. Unfortunately, he has passed away from cancer, and I was just completely, utterly gutted and heartbroken. To this day, I'm not the same person that I am.
It's like losing a right arm,
from losing one of my biggest impact in my life.
Yeah.
But I had the chance to open a fundraiser for his family, and I was able to raise over $50,000 for his family.
Fantastic.
And from there, I became really close to his wife and his kids and his best friends. And he was also an old MI instructor, and I was already an instructor at MI, but I was one of those new kids, and I was never in that club of like the old school OG teachers. But once I did this fundraiser, they invited me over to the club of the OGs, which is like an incredible honor. But anyways, long story longer, my Ross's wife, offered me to purchase this guitar. So I was like, yes, absolutely. And so I was able to buy this guitar, and that money went to their kids, Louis and gosh, I completely blanking on the daughter's name. I'm sorry. But anyways, it goes to their college fund. And so I was able to play this guitar. It's a little scary thing because I was so influenced by Justine and Louis as their kid's name. But I was basically a Ross clone for a longest time. Like I played like him. I used to walk like him.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was just like I
absolutely admired him.
Absolutely, 100%. I was.
Did he know that?
Of course.
Good. You were able to express that to him?
Oh yeah, good. I definitely did. So the scary thing is when I play this guitar, it sounds like him, and it just freaks me out. So it has to be an occasion for me to play this guitar, because all these rest of the guitars, when I play, it sounds like me. But only time I play this guitar, it doesn't sound like me still to this day, and it kills me. But anyways, like I wrote a song using this particular guitar, and just to kind of show respect to Ross and to the guitar, and it doesn't come anywhere near Ross's incredible, amazing musicianship. But I did my best to kind of respect his style and his playing and his sound. So this was this quick 1-minute video that I wrote music.
Really good.
I edited the video. So it was a good song, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I said at the beginning, gang, he's humble. Time to get funky on the Jim Master Show live with Getting Funky. Here's Kenny doing his thing. That was really cool.
Thanks. Sorry for the little plug at the end. That was just
subscribe. We agree 100%. That's one of the greatest inventions next to maybe ice cream is subscribe. Every time you see it anywhere, be sure and do it, gang. So, I mean, what a teaser. It's like 60 seconds. I mean, really, really good.
That was back when, that was back when Instagram could only post like a minute video. So that was for Instagram. That's relatively an older video, but
really, really cool.
Yeah.
We even have some quarantine sessions here too. More music on the show, gang. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments, everybody. If you're just joining us, Kenny Echizen is here. Fantastic session musician, touring guitarist, educator, and clinician, coming to us live from Los Angeles here on the Jim Master Show live. Lots of music, great conversation. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself. And not only chat in our chat room, but thanks for these great comments. You guys are really on fire. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel as well. We would love that. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Here's another one, Quarantine Sessions number 4. You're jamming. Tell us about this one.
Yeah. So this was like an international duet or international collaboration. The drummer, David Allen, who is an incredible musician, incredible human being, soon to be dad. Cool. David he and I grew up in the same city, went to the same high school, same music school. That's where I met, actually. David was at MI. and we became really close throughout the year. And I was making a bunch of quarantine videos, and David was like, "Hey, get me on one of this collaboration." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I wrote a song, and then I have a friend, Yoshihiko. I call him Yodi. Yodi is a dear friend of mine in Japan. So we did a couple collaboration together, and I wrote a tune, and I had him play along with our song. And also he had also a friend, Takakun, and who played bass in Japan, and they tour and play together all the time. They're like first call musicians in Japan. I speak fluent Japanese, so I became really close with them. And so this is one of the songs that I wrote, and I mixed and mastered and edited all. I mean, the editing is whatever. I just put it together, but I did the video as well. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool song. I'm pretty rocking, and Yoti just kills everybody just destroys in there. So hope everybody likes it.
How would you say I love the Jim Masters show in Japanese?
Jim Master Show wa saiko da.
I love that. How would you say subscribe to Jim Masters TV in Japanese?
Jim Masters TV に登録とサブスクライブよろしくお願いします。
I love that. There's going to be a quiz later. You're going to have to repeat what he just said, folks. That's it. You're going to get a Japanese lesson too here on Jim Master Show Live. We do it all. We educate and entertain and inspire. Here we go. Quarantine session. Some jamming for you here with Kenny. That is so cool.
And there you have it.
When I was watching it, we were previewing, I was like, oh my God, they're going to love this. That was
awesome.
Cool. How long did it take to put that together? I mean, you've got all the different elements and it's got to blend perfectly like that.
I mean, overall, I wrote the song overnight, made the mix. I programmed the drums for David to play.
Did you?
I played, and then I sent over the track over to the Japan folks, and they just layered tracks and they sent it over, and I mixed it. So I don't know, a couple days maybe, not sure. It's not, it's fun stuff, and it's all quarantine stuff.
Cool. Yeah. We got some photos here too. We want to show as well. Take a look at this, gang. Where was this happening?
That was at. Forget what the studio was called out of the top of my head. It was, hold on, what was the studio called? This was very, very recent.
Do you want to phone a friend or?
Yeah, give me a second.
Like the Millionaire Show.
Yeah, give me Silent Zoo. Sorry, it's called Silent Zoo Studio in Glendale. Cool. Yeah,
Very nice.
It was a recording
session. This was a session.
Yes, it was. I was recording guitar for 2 young artists, upcoming artists, and just one of those things. Just never met the song. Oh yeah, Lauren.
Yeah, tell us who we have here. What's happening here?
This is I'm playing with Lauren Jenkins. She is a Nashville artist based there, and she came over to LA to do a show at 29 Palms, which is an army base in Palm Springs. So we opened up for Night Ranger out of all the bands. It was an odd grouping of people because Lauren's music is kind of acoustic-y, kind of like Nora Jones-y, T-Bone Burnett-y kind of vibe, and it was an interesting combination. But we had a lot of fun. It was great meeting Lauren, and an incredible musician and incredible human being. So that was really fun to do a gig. That was recent. That was like a couple months ago, I think.
Tell us about that beautiful guitar you have in your hands there.
That is an Heritage 535. So the brand is called Heritage. They have an old factory. They build their old guitars at the old factory at the Gibson, where the Gibson guitars used to build their guitars. Yeah. And a lot of the old builders at Gibson still builds guitar in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I think is the place. I think it's right. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the guitar. That's the guitar that I'm playing.
Tell us about that incredible collection of guitars that are around you. It's really beautiful.
Where do I start? This is just like the tip of the iceberg, but these are the guitars that I play that I use all the time for different occasions, for sessions and lives. Basically all my guitars, or half of them are either Gibsons, or half of them are my buddy Lance Alonso. He is now a custom shop builder at a company called ESP, but he builds his own guitars. A lot of basically 95% of my guitars are based out of basically Gibson's or Lance's guitar. And you're looking at all of them. So these are some Les Pauls, some SGs. Heritage is kind of a Gibson guitar. And Lance's guitars, all the other Strat and Telly style guitars. I actually do have one Fender, but everything else is just a bunch of Gibsons and Lance guitars that I dearly love.
Dearly love. They all have their own personalities. You can sort of humanize them, almost like they're your own kids in a way, huh?
That's how I convince my wife every time I want to buy a guitar. So it's cheaper than having a child.
Right. I was going to say, yeah. We've got another great one here. This is from the quarantine session number 5. This is Black Star. Tell us about this one.
Black Star. What did I do again? Sorry, what did I send you? I forget.
Here, let's watch play it. Yeah, you'll be surprised too, right? Yeah. The artist, the guest will be surprised. Here we go, gang. Here's Kenny doing his thing.
Yes, I remember this video.
I was gonna say, how could you not on that one? Oh my God. If that didn't keep your blood flowing, gang, then you got to check your pulse.
Oh
That
man.
was cool. People, if they're just tuning in, they probably think you've got like twin brothers or something.
Right.
I'm seeing 3 or 4 of this guy
Multiple
here.
personality.
Multiple personalities, exactly. But that really is incredible.
Thank you.
Maureen
Yeah,
in
that
Arizona
was
watching. She goes, "Bam, that was
oh
fabulous."
cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Toby says shredding.
that was
Austin
for
says great jam session. Yeah, they're
yeah,
all loving it,
thanks.
gang.
Yeah, that was for a gear demo that I did for Black Star. It's an amp called HD Club 40 Mark II. It's just an incredible amp, and like I said, Black Star makes incredible, affordable amps out there, and I'm truly blessed and privileged to really work with them. But this is one of them. And then my buddy, once again, David Allen, playing drums and laying down some incredible drums for the tracks.
He's really good too, huh?
Oh, he's incredible. Dave is just an incredible human being, and I'm actually going to be playing with him Sunday. So he's, I play with him quite a lot. So that was fun.
Now, are you going out on tour? Is Taylor going out on tour? Is there any tours, anything coming up like that? They're going to take you on the road?
Nothing in the books with Taylor. I was supposed to go on Hawaii with her, but
everything going on is sort of.
Well, no, they're doing something came up on my end that I was already that I already had to do, so I couldn't.
Probably feels good to just be able to get back into the swing of things too. I mean, over the last 2 years, how have you been? I know a lot of this stuff stopped and everything, but you just been working out of the house. How did you get through the craziness of the last 2 years?
Well, the video creation definitely helped me kind of get other gigs doing gear demos, and I was a freelance, basically content creator, for different manufacturers, and that's how I landed my position as a product training specialist for Korg. Because at first I was doing contracting work with them, but I've done so many of them, I became like a part of their team, and they, graciously offered me a job there as a training specialist, because I've been in the whole manufacturing side of things for a number of years. One with Taylor Guitars, one with Xotic. And I'm really comfortable talking about gear and explaining gear and stuff. So, and then now my skill set of editing videos became really handy to where I have an actual occupation, like a big boy job, which is incredible. It's definitely a blessing for sure. So
you're still teaching too?
Not really. I love to teach, but I really take teaching really, really seriously. Because
you probably get a lot of people requesting, like private lessons, all this kind of.
Every now and then, there's so many great teachers out there, anyways. And nowadays, like you go on YouTube, and there's a lot of content, people teaching stuff free. So it's
true, yeah,
right. You can do all that stuff. On occasion, somebody asks me to do it to teach them, and I'm just like, I do it, but on a very rare occasion, I do at this point. I got a little too much going on right now anyways.
A lot of things happening, right? Exactly.
But nowadays I got a few shows coming up with Kamran Hooman towards the end of the year. I think going to DC, Dallas, Austin, where else? Seattle.
So you're going to be laying down some mileage there,
a little bit, a little bit. I will be doing that, but mainly I'll be just in town doing my thing. So I still have this job. Oh, look at that! That's Big Joe Bonamassa there.
There he is. Right.
How long ago that was? A few years ago, 2019, I think, maybe.
Was it about 2018? 18, yeah. That's cool. That's a great shot.
It was a fun shot. That was from Toronto show. I was in Toronto earlier this year, and that was the shot from that. gig, I think. Yes.
Do you
It
get
is.
to do you get to visit Japan on Asia and Europe and other parts of the world
Well,
often?
first of all, I've never been to Europe ever.
Really? So there's
I'd love to go there.
yeah.
I've never been to any other Asian countries besides Japan. Before the pandemic, I used to go there like every year,
Yeah.
either
Right.
visiting my family or on tour or anything like that. I've always tried to say yes to any opportunities going to Japan. Last time I was there, I was just there visiting my family with my family. But prior to that, I was on a 2-week tour doing clinics and teaching there. That was a really incredible time. So,
Yeah. Huh?
it's I try to go there as much as possible, basically.
Yeah. And Australia, you fell in love with Australia.
Ah, man, I'll go there in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
again, like the traveling sucks, but
Right. It takes forever, but
17 hours, man, it sucks. But that's Elliot. Yeah, good old Elliot Easton from the Cars.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elliot is a Vox endorsee, so one of the things that I do is also a lot of stuff for Vox amplification. And yep, that's another shot from the show with Lauren.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, fun times. That's at the Sydney Opera House.
That's at the Sydney. I remember you mentioning something about that. What was it like being there?
It's a huge
That had,
It's a huge reverberation tank chamber, basically, because it's made for opera, hence Opera House. So if you drop a pen, you could hear that
you hear it
drop
all.
for 20 seconds.
Right.
So it was an incredible venue. Walking into the backstage in the green room is always like a pinch me moment
Yeah.
for me. It was a definitely incredible opportunity for me to play there.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
that, and we saw that, which was really cool. I mean, so you're enjoying the ride, my friend. You're enjoying it, and that's
Dude, I'm still in it, man. I'm still in it.
yeah.
I'm still
How
going for the next ride.
how many years has it been now? If you were to look back at it all from what you were,
Professionally,
yeah,
well, I graduated in '06. So, I mean, I wasn't making any money at all once after I graduated until, gosh, I don't know when. But
the family was always supportive. So
yes,
saying, because some would say, "Hey, you sure you want to get into this industry?" Only because it does have its slow times and craziness and long hours and tours and buses, planes, all of it. But they were behind you all the way, huh?
yeah, my parents were very, 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 very supportive.
That's awesome.
And, they kept me pushing, and I wasn't slacking off. I was really going for it. So they saw that I wanted it.
Yeah.
So they, being a parent myself now, it's like,
Yeah.
why would I say that to my son if he's really going for it and just, shaving their hearts and just digging their ego or whatever you call it. It's like just, ripping yourself to pieces to do this and to get
Yeah.
there.
Right.
And if I was a parent, I would never say like, hey, maybe try giving up and do something else. Why would I say that? As a parent, that's terrible, And my parents, thank God they didn't do that. They were very, very supportive. And they just,
They didn't say doctor, lawyer, dentist. Yeah.
no, I mean, my dad was very worried about it at first, but as he saw me kind of doing my thing and slowly developing my career, they slowly understood and even support even more. And now they're a huge fan of me. So
Yeah, cool. Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm really lucky. I don't think I could, if I ever had the chance to do this again, I don't think I could do it because everything is a miracle. Everything is just all these opportunities coming up and all that
Yeah,
stuff. So.
I was going to say, I usually ask a lot of the guests, what are some of those blessings and joys in your life that keep you sticking with it and propelling and making all the great music for us to enjoy?
Yeah, it's definitely I don't know. It's a journey that when you look back and go, how did that happen? And It goes with everybody, I guess, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
music, but
When you look back, you're kind of like, gee, wow, yeah, how'd we
yeah,
get here? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's really enjoying the ride.
Hmm.
Like Maureen says, well, you're off to an incredible start, Kenny. I'm sure your star will continue to rise. You'll reach great heights. Your ambition and love for what you do will take you there,
Thanks.
and you're already there.
No, no,
But there's
man, I'm
other
not even
levels.
not even close, but I still try to, go out and do my thing, and thankfully I have a lot of great friends and colleagues and all that stuff that really helps me.
Yeah, it's a supportive community, which is what is really important and awesome. And, you know, what would you say to somebody who's watching this, who's getting inspired by the conversation, and they want to do what Kenny does? Maybe it's a kid watching or something. They're like, wow, I would. There's your answer right there, everybody.
Ugh, wow.
It's all in the laugh. You gotta have
Yeah.
patience and fortitude and strong stomach and supportive family and all the rest.
Yeah. I mean, you better love what you're doing, because sometimes it won't love you back. And, when it doesn't, then that's where the true patience and, believing in yourself comes in true test.
Yeah.
It really does, man. Because sometimes it does
You can
not
doubt
love you
yourself,
back.
right? And say, hey, I think I'm going to pack it in, or gee, right, exactly. I think we've all done that. I in my career, I've done it.
Sure.
There's
Of
times
course.
working on TV and radio and everything.
Of
Say, maybe I'll just
course.
try something different, or maybe, but then it keeps calling your name, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
keeps
and
knocking on the door and going, Kenny,
yeah,
you love this. Come on, Kenny, you
I
love
know,
it.
man.
Don't give up on me, Kenny.
I'm on a daily battle with anxiety and
Yeah,
stress and
yeah,
worry every
yeah,
single day. I'll
yes,
be lying if I be saying I don't, because
sure.
I am incredible. There's been
Does that
great.
help with the creativity sometimes? Do you pull from that at all? That energy, does that help keep you motivated sometimes because of
No,
that?
honestly, no, it doesn't.
It's
I
more of
hate it.
a pain in the neck, right?
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Are you a
I'll be honest, man.
perfectionist?
Yeah, what's that?
Are you a perfectionist?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah.
I am
A lot
definitely
of
a
people in our
perfectionist.
industries are definitely.
But the funny thing is, yes, I am also I am a perfectionist in certain things, but I also care less now, which makes no sense.
I know what you mean. Yes, no, I understand,
You
because I'm
know,
in the same frame of mind lately too, after doing it so long. Right, exactly. It's interesting. It's a dichotomy. It's an odd place, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know, as we get older. I mean, I'm not old, but I'm getting older. It's
You're becoming a seasoned veteran, as I call it.
Yeah, I get it's just the more gray hair that I grow. It's just I think the things we what do you call it? Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things.
Don't sweat the small stuff, you mean?
Yeah, just like it's all like basically as we get older, like all that stuff that we used to worry when we were little or
That was so
young.
monumental, right?
Yeah, it's like what did that has nothing to do with what you want to do. So
Right.
as we get older, we just start to just care less. And,
Becomes liberating.
yeah, it's just shaving it off and
You
putting
focus
all,
on what's
yeah, the more
important.
focus, because I got got a mortgage, a house to take care of,
Right.
a kid,
Right.
a family, a career. Like those things are already like a huge, you know, responsibility. So why would I have to care about all these other things that means nothing tomorrow or in an
Right.
hour?
Right.
So
Exactly. Right.
because that's
Exactly.
not going to change anything. Things will just kind of work itself out in a way, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't, it doesn't. Then whatever.
Well, somebody who knew that and who lived that way was the comedian George Burns.
Mm, great,
He always pops in towards the latter part with his cigar and his
nice.
pocket square, all debonair and dapper, and
There you go.
he made it to 100, and
Wow.
he did his thing, on television and stage and comedy, and He said you're amazing. You knocked it out of the park. He thoroughly enjoyed it. He sits over down below here with a cigar and with his martini.
Just enjoying
and then
it.
He pops in towards the latter part.
Awesome.
And he said he thoroughly enjoyed it. And
Great.
I really hope the show met whatever expectations you had too, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, Kenny. This was a blast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Great.
This was really fantastic. And
great time.
Yeah, really, really fantastic. Marty Thompson from Australia by way now of Nashville. Your sound mix is sensationally set.
Thank you.
And he's got one last question here too. No, never apologize, Marty. Great questions.
Do I own a custom Ibanez? I do not, but my very first electric guitar was an Ibanez. So it's not a custom. I mean, I changed so many different parts and things in it, so it became a custom guitar after a while. But yes, I do own one Ibanez, and that's my very first guitar that I bought when I was 13. And
you have a website and things like that if people want to check out music and
Kenny Echizen, or I got a YouTube channel. You could
Instagram and
all that stuff.
The usual suspect places, right?
Yeah, if you, I hate saying this, but like if you search me somewhere and you'll find me.
Up.
Yeah, like a YouTube video.
Anything on like Spotify and other places too? That's your music. Stuff?
I made an acoustic EP a long time ago, and that's on Amazon Music.
What's it called?
It's called Beloved Aroma. It's a 5-song EP.
Yeah.
It's all acoustic.
All instrumental.
All instrumental.
Acoustic instrumental. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's called Beloved Aroma. It's a good. I think I still listen to it every now and then. I think still holds its ground. That's back when I was into acoustic guitar, like heavily into it. So
electric speaks to your heart more.
Nowadays, yeah. I mean, it's a different voice. It's a completely different instrument. It's just the functionality is the same, but the sound and what it does to me, inspired me, is different. I do call myself an acoustic guitar player too, because I do love it. And I do play, I think I play like an acoustic guitar player. Because there's a lot of players out there that plays acoustic guitar like an electric guitar, and you could really tell immediately. And I didn't want to be like that, especially when I was doing stuff for Taylor guitars, doing hundreds and hundreds of clinics over the years. And I didn't want to fake myself in front of people and players out there. So I really did practice immensely on acoustic guitar.
Did you ever go back to piano? The original?
No. Nope.
Never dabble in it, or
once I started playing guitar, that was that was it for me, man. That's
became your love.
Yeah, and I still love it. I still sometimes get jaded about it. It's just a piece of wood with strings, and you make noise. And
isn't that amazing? Yeah,
I jokingly say like I'm a magician, because I'm playing this bunch of wood put together with strings attached to it, and I have this piece of plastic and make noise and make money. It's like, what are the concept? What's the concept behind that? I don't know, but
you mentioned a magician. Marty actually had a question about an American Japanese magician who is married to his cousin.
Whoa, really?
Do you know that magician?
Yeah, he was a big sensation for a long time in Japan.
So he's a nice bloke. I love those Australian and British phrases, a bloke. And he was married to my cousin.
Wow.
Small world, huh?
Yeah.
Enjoyable conversation. Thanks for giving us a peek into your career and treating us to your amazing music, Kenny. Keep on keeping on. That's right, gang. If you joined us late, we had lots of music on this show and great conversation, and this was really a blast. Make sure you watch this in our archives. If you missed any of it, you will thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. Kenny's one of the best, and he's very humble about it, but he's really, really talented, and he's done a lot, and he's still doing a lot. And again, 10 years with Taylor Dayne, West Coast band, and lots more. He's played with so many incredible people, as we mentioned, and Netflix, Pepsi, Disney, Billy Porter. I mean, you name it. He's Done it all and continues to.
Yeah, we
And of
all
course,
get,
Ed Rossetti, our great
of
friend.
course. Yeah, we all
Great
get
friend.
hired and fired at the same time.
It's like
Musicians.
exactly, just as our beautiful, colorful graphic shows, just go with the flow. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
This was awesome, my friend. Truly, thoroughly enjoyed it. Spread the word about the Jim Master Show Live series. Where, like I said, we do something a little different. It's we don't even call it interviews. We call it like a
Conversation.
conversational talk
Yeah.
show, right? Exactly, with a modern vibe. This was awesome. I know you got to scoot off. You got to pick up your kid, but thanks for popping on, spending this time with us, sharing your background, your music, your passions with us. We'll keep that porch light on for you, my friend. You're welcome back anytime, Kenny.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you having me. Really, it's been a really fun and I never get to talk about myself like this, so it's I feel like sorry to bore some of you, but it was
Are you
fun
kidding? They
to
love
look back.
They've been commenting throughout, and I invite folks to comment on our YouTube channel. Drop a comment as well if you thoroughly enjoyed it. And this was
Great.
really, really cool stuff. Really the best. You be well, my friend. Have a great weekend, and
You
we'll
too,
chat
Jim.
again soon. And
Sure.
like Ed, if you know other folks you think would like to pop on the show, spread the word. Let us know. They're all welcome.
Sounds good.
All right. You take
Thanks,
care,
Jim.
my friend.
Thanks everyone. See ya.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Kenny Echizen right here on the Jim Master Show Live. Gang, if you joined us late and you joined it maybe midway, midstream, whatever it is, watch this again. You're going to enjoy it. We had a lot of fantastic music and great conversation, laughs, our viewer interaction, as we always have from those who are watching literally around the world. It's been a terrific, I can't believe, an hour and a half, actually, we chatted. We never, as we always say, we never put a clock on it. For as long as the guests can be here, if they're here 20 minutes, a half hour, 45, an hour, 2 hours, however long they're here, we can chat in a conversational, warm style. That's what we do here at the Jim Master Show Live, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Variety Talk Show series, where you can see plus 700 episodes. If this was your first time watching our show, welcome. It's awesome to have you here on the Jim Master Show Live series. Don't forget, we love it if you can give this episode a thumbs up. There it is right there. It looks like that. It's a big thumb, actually. You see it on every episode on our YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Drop a comment on the actual YouTube channel underneath this episode. That means a great deal to us as well. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, please do. We love it. There's no cost for that. And make sure you click the notification bell. Like, for example, we did the show at an earlier time today because Kenny had to scoot off. He's got to pick up his kid from school. So to accommodate him, we adjusted the show so he could be with us today. And if you had subscribed to our YouTube channel and you click the notification little bell icon that's next to the word subscribe, then you would have received a notification that we were on a little bit earlier today. For those who would like to be with us live, for those of you who catch everything later in the archives, that is awesome as well. And however you watch us, the fact that you do watch us, every single person, whether you're commenting when the show is live in our JMS chat room, or you're leaving comments later, or you're just quietly observing and enjoying, we thank you very much for all the levity and all the levity and everything else. I want to let you know we've got another iconic guest coming on Monday. You know, the famed group, the Turtles, music legend, and Andy Cahan is with us here, live also from Los Angeles. He is incredible. He's going to be with us coming up on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Also, Barbara Brighton, legendary comedian, actress, and singer. She's going to be with us as well. She does a fantastic, incredible Joan Rivers. And I want to give you a little teaser, too. You know who else is joining us very, very soon? Another renowned guitarist, Kevin Eubanks. Yes, the one and only Kevin Eubanks is joining us. You know him from all of his epic music, but you probably know him most notably as Jay Leno's band leader on The Tonight Show, all those years with Jay Leno on NBC. Kevin's going to be joining us, and the incomparable vocalist, legendary singer, Melba Moore is joining us on the show. From television, Daphne Maxwell Reid. She played the aunt on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on NBC. These are just a few teasers folks, of folks who are going to be gracing us here on the Gym Masters Show Live. Again, we appreciate Kenny joining us. Really a fantastically talented guy, and real and passionate and open and authentic, which is what we love here on the Gym Masters Show Live. Check him out online. I know you guys are going to check out on Amazon Music too, the EP he was talking about. He's on Instagram and everywhere else. And we thank you guys for watching the Gym Masters Show Live. As we always say, we don't say goodbye. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, sayonara. We say hasta la vista, mori loop, slancha, and ciao, and everything else. We'll say see you later on the next episode. Don't forget, you can always binge watch all the episodes. There's over 700 you can check out on our YouTube channel right here at Gym Masters TV. Spread the word, gang. Share the episode links on your social media. There's a share button under every episode of our series, and you can hit share, and you can share it on your fantastic social media pages. And Maureen says, great guest coming up, but no surprise. Thank you very much, Maureen. Jen Barry, watching in Allentown, Pennsylvania, says, Jim, me, Jen, Zen. Jen is Zen. Favorite saying, going with the flow. She's with us as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. We love it. We love it. We love it. And Christine here popping in from North Carolina. We have actually some friends that are in North Carolina visiting right now. Interesting show. We actually have relatives in North Carolina and South Carolina. Christine, she's in North Carolina. Interesting show with Kennedy. Incredible guitarist. Yes, he is, Christine. Thanks, Jim. See you all next week. Watching a lot of our archives too. That's perfect. Enjoy the archives. And Christine, definitely leave a comment on our YouTube channel under all the episodes that you're watching in the archives as well, gang. You enjoy. Reminder that on Monday, legendary Andy Cahan's going to be with us from the legendary group, the Turtles, and so much more coming up for you here on the Gym Masters Show Live. We love you all. Be well. Take care. Enjoy one another. Take care of one another. But most notably, take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, and spread a little kindness, a little empathy, and some of that JMS love that you guys like as well. We wish you nothing but the best. For those watching live, we'll see you on the next episode. Those watching Memorex, watching this archived, stay right here. Another episode comes up at the Gym Masters Show Live. Thanks for being with us, gang. You guys take care and be well, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.